Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Happy Sunday evening, and I hope you've all had a great weekend. Please forgive my voice. This weather is just really wreaking havoc on me. But today we made dinner rolls. So you see my ball jar of yeast that I keep in the refrigerator. You can just go to like a little Amish store. Kroger's might have it. It's like a container of just dry active yeast, and I take it out, I put it in my ball jar, and I keep it in the refrigerator. And does not need to be proof because I already know that it's active. So for this recipe, we're going to need 2¼ teaspoons of this yeast. And again, you don't need to, put it in water. Make sure the water's warm. You don't need to add a little sugar to keep it going. But so take your 2¼ teaspoons, and you're going to put it in your mixing bowl. And you're going to add 1 cup of hot milk, not scalding, but hot. And you're going to add 2½ tablespoons of sugar. Whisk this. Make sure you get it mixed well, and you start to kind of see it do its thing. It gets a little bubbly, and then you'll know that it's ready. And then from here, you're going to take, if you want them a little bit more buttery, you can take 4 tablespoons, but I usually use 3 tablespoons of softened butter. And I usually put them in the microwave to soften them up a bit. It just helps it to blend a little bit better. But you're going to take your tablespoons of butter, and I always use unsalted butter. Again, watching my salt, but unsalted butter tends to, for my experience, bake better. But you're going to put that in your mixing bowl. You're going to take 1 egg, and you're going to beat it well. And you're going to pour it into the mixing bowl. Always make sure that your milk has cooled down a little, because if you take that egg and you pour it into your mixing bowl with the hot milk, you're going to get scrambled eggs, and that's not going to taste very well. So we've got your butter, your milk, your sugar, and now we have to add salt. If you didn't put salt in any type of bread dough, it's going to be very bland. I always use kosher salt. I just always have. It's a tidbit I learned from Martha Stewart many years ago. I never use table salt. You get a much better, baked item, whether it's cookies or whatnot. So I use my teaspoon of kosher salt, and I put that all into my blender with the dough hook. And you're going to add 3 cups of flour. Make sure you level it off. You don't want to use more flour. If your batter tends to be a little too wet, then you're going to want to add maybe at most 1/4 cup of flour. It'll just dry out if you use more than that. And I am in no way endorsing Bob's Red Mill, but I've been baking for over 30 years. I have used every type of flour. King Arthur was always supposed to be the best, but Bob's Red Mill, to me, by far is the best. And I use their unbleached flour. I've used their artisan flour, their wheat flour, their cornmeal. Just really good products, so give them a try. So this is kind of what your dough should look like. It's sticky, and you should, if it tends to be not this consistency, you may add a little bit of flour into it as you're kneading it. And I knead it with the palm of your hand, stretch it back and forth for at least a couple of minutes, or as long as your arm can stand it. But it just makes your rolls a little fluffier. So from here, I put it in my greased bowl, and I spray it with Pam. Pam cooking spray is one of my best friends in the kitchen. I use it quite often, praying that it's not too horrible for me to use, but I do. But anyway, I put this in my greased bowl. I usually cover it with like a tea towel, I set it somewhere warm. I have a screened-in patio, so I could sit it on the patio table out there. And it usually only takes at the most about 45 minutes. And then afterwards I punch it down and I roll it into the little balls and I stretch them. I take my little, little amount of dough and I stretch them, and then I tuck in all the, underneath all the little corners, and then I roll it. But what that does is make a nice rounded ball, and you can't really see the seams at the bottom. And I just think that they come out better that way. And then I let them rise again for about 15 minutes, and then I pop them into the oven, and I get these beautiful, delicious rolls. And probably when they're close to being done, I bake it at 350, by the way. I take some melted butter and I put on top. It just kind of helps get that golden brown color. But usually everybody's oven's a little bit different. Mine tend to only need to bake for maybe 20-25 minutes, but they are delicious with some fresh butter. And I was going through my freezer and I pulled these out. My mother makes the best noodles. She's been making them ever since I was a child, and she hooks me up with these noodles, and they're incredible with, like, if you're making a roast or whatever and you want beef and noodles, and fantastic. And it's just nice. I can pull those out of the freezer. She just has them ready for me, and it's just a nice little treat. So I hope you enjoy the video. Have a good evening.